So, Sri has been a consistently impactful advocate for safety, efficiency, and accountability throughout his 33-year CalTrans career. He currently serves as the Deputy Division Chief of Traffic Operations and previously served in construction and maintenance divisions. Sri established the CalTrans Office of Emergency Management, which focuses on emergency response, winter operations, and hazardous materials. Welcome, Sri.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Paul, Jim. Thanks to FHWA and NOCO for giving us this opportunity to share some of the things that we're doing here. But overall, I think as a team, I think we're doing a lot more in this area, and we need to do a lot more in this area. So over the next 5 minutes or so, I will try to share some information about CalTrans, some information about California, and also the things that we're doing for this particular week. But again, though this week highlights that particular time period, this is something that we have to think about 24/7, 365, so to speak. So next slide, please. So just an overview, and the reason for sharing this overview is to kind of share the magnitude of things that we're facing here in California. So we have about 39.5 million people, nearly 12% of the U.S. population, and the four most populous counties in the nation is in the state of California. We have about 180,000 miles of public roadways and about 315 billion annual vehicle miles of travel. So that kind of gives you the magnitude of people moving on our roadways. There are over 27 million licensed drivers. That means a lot of people are driving there, and a lot of things could happen. Not that we want it to happen. Then we have about, if you look at the number of vehicles, about 25 million registered light vehicles and 6 million heavy trucks. But the bigger thing is public road crash statistics. If you look at it, over 400 fatality and injury crashes happen per day. Which means we will have first responders going to this at different levels. You know, it could be as simple as a tow truck going there, a CalTrans or a local DOT person going there, the CHP going there. It could be any of those things, but first responders are out there every day addressing these crashes. Next. So just wanted to share some of the unfortunate fatalities that we have had in 2023. We lost a law enforcement officer, and then we lost tow truck operators. Those are some of the things that primarily happens. The tow truck operators get impacted a lot, but so do law enforcement officers. You know, every time they're out there, they're putting themselves in potentially harm's way. And therefore, again, emphasizes the need for the safety of those folks. And there are two things we can talk about: incident management training, and I'll briefly mention that could happen within the first responder community itself. But then we also have to do some training of the general public. Those are two different. The way we look at it, those are the two different prongs of how to help with the safety of the responders to any incident. Next slide, please. This kind of gives an example of the type of response we may have on a typical injury crash. We'll have about 2 law enforcement officers, and depending on what the incident is, we could have up to 4 fire rescue responders, EMS operators, the tow truck, 1 or 2 tow trucks. If multiple vehicles are involved, we try to get them off the roadway as quickly as we can. To do the traffic control and stuff, we have CalTrans maintenance workers trying to clean up, put the cones up, and do other things. We have the traffic management team, the traffic management truck driver, so we let people in advance know that there is an incident ahead. So all this tells us is that we're putting a lot of first responders, a lot of people out there, and we need to make sure their safety is critical for us. That's how we are looking at it. Next slide, please. So as far as training, like I said, there are 2 prongs to this training, internal and external. For our TIM training for the responders, we follow the FHWA training, so everybody is required to take that training. And then we also have created a California-specific training. These we have put them online, and they cover some of the specific laws and requirements, like the move over law or the new toll laws that we have, debris removal, multidisciplinary accident investigation team. What do they do? And how to make note of the duration, because one of the things we try to capture is the performance measures of how quickly incidents are being cleared. So that's the kind of training that we're providing, and we provide a certificate at the end. To us, I feel training is quite critical for making sure that we ensure the safety of our first responders. Again, a lot of things can be done at different levels to ensure safety. So then, next slide, please. So we then focusing on the 2024 plan for that particular week. We are trying to get a governor's proclamation. Again, as it was mentioned earlier, some years it's a little easier to get these than others. This year being an election year, we don't know how much we can get that. So that's why, and as many people know, our governor is actively involved in this election. We're going to try that, but not sure if it's going to happen. We're also going to try to get executive video messages. We have very strong support from our agency secretary and also from our OTS and our own CalTrans director. OTS meaning the Office of Traffic Safety. It's a separate department. We're looking for their messages as well. We do plan to put messages during that week on our changeable message signs. We did that last time. We have over 1,200 signs. Some of them get used for incidents and other things, but just the general safety message, we'll probably put them on over 1,000 changeable message signs across the state. We periodically do the safety campaigns through our social media, primarily through X and Facebook. So we plan to do that. Mass training, just not that particular during that time, but trying to get it done through our Traffic Management Center Academy and the Motorist Aid Conference that we have. We plan to go share this information with them. We also have the districts. Caltrans has 12 districts. The districts will be communicating with local law enforcement and others. They have quarterly meetings and other periodic meetings. So we'll have them share that information as well. Again, planning to do press release by our Public Information Office. See if we can get some mass event. We again collaborate with our Office of Traffic Safety. We exchange grants, and we actually have a new campaign started on speed reduction. So we plan to do that and have additional presence in there. We have collaborated in the past with DMV. We'll try to do that again and see if they will get us information. Share the information when people visit their website and their in-office for in-office services. So that's something we'll work with them and CHP for both the messaging there and the driver education program. Again, there are other things. Whatever opportunities we get, we plan to promote that, because it gets extremely difficult. Recently, we lost one of our own a team member at Caltrans to an incident on the highway as they were working there. It was not responding to an incident, but nevertheless, it is something that we have to take seriously. So these are this kind of gives a highlight of what we're planning to do and what we have done in the past and what we hope to do as we move forward. So with that, I will stop.